All right. Hope everybody's well. Welcome to Eddie Gray in the mix. A lot of technical difficulties here today, but we are all good. We're making it happen. Hope everybody's well out there, moving and shaking. So much going on. Man, here at HF Tracks, we've been closing film trailers and doing all sorts of stuff, working on the show Snapped, doing some custom gigs for a couple publishers, and man, we're feeling good. We're feeling good. So I want to get into today's session. There's certainly a lot to do, and so we're gonna go through a couple different things. I just got this new axe, and so I just kind of wanted to test out the waters. There is a little bit of latency, and so I'm gonna try and see if I can fight that, maneuver that. But if not, we're gonna use features such as smart tempo to help us stay on the grid. So here, let's get right into the session, and yeah, let's get this started. So as of right now, you should be. Let me move this over here. Yeah. All right. We should be inside of Logic, and there you go. I've got this guitar set up, and I'm going to attempt to record a part here. See, we've been having some issues with sound. We're gonna see how this goes. Okay. So let me just test it out. Okay, good. Let me play this back. Alright, sounds okay. I can hear it back, so that's good. Alright, so when you're writing a new song, you're putting together a new idea, the very first thing you need to do is you need to determine a tempo. One of the things that I like to do is I like to use one of these guys, right? Just gives you a sense of where the tempo should be. So when I first got this guitar, this Les Paul, thank you to Judith for hooking me up with this. I just started thinking of this riff, right? So I just kind of put it together, and it was something like right? And so you can just think of the tempo off the top of your head, right? And so then just get a little metronome like this that just taps, and then you can just tap in. They have iPhone equivalents now, so cool. So it says around 155. I'm gonna take it. I like to keep one handy just because I'm looking at the screen all day, so if I get a chance to not look at the screen, then that's definitely a plus. So let's go 155. All right, cool. Now that being said, because I'm having issues with the guitar and hearing it and all sorts of stuff, I'm not even gonna play to a click track. So I'm gonna turn that off. Notice inside of my settings, I've got the smart tempo up, and so I'm going to turn on the smart tempo recording settings, and just in case I drag anything in, I don't think I will, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna play to no tempo, and hopefully I can have the smart tempo feature conform what it is I play and make it fit to 155. So even though I know the tempo, which is right here, in fact, let's raise that up. It's kind of low. If you ever want to change the tone of the click, you can. You just raise up the tonality knob here. Sometimes you raise up the volume, but it's not enough to cut through the mix. So that sounds okay. Okay, I'll stop right there. So again, we don't want a tempo reference, mostly because of the latency, but seriously, it's not a bad idea sometimes just to do it as a practice. Like, you want to have more of a human feel. That's not a bad idea. So that being said, I'm gonna hit record. We're gonna play back, and we're gonna see if we can get this down. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna hit G to open up the global marker. Now you'll notice I'm still at the tempo of 155, even though I did not record to a click track. Well, that's because I'm using smart tempo, and so it's helping me. The technology is helping me get one step ahead. So I'm gonna remove some of these features so visually, I maintain my focus. So let's listen here. All right, cool. So we hear the signal. Everything sounding good. All right. So then now, this is very expected behavior. I want to try something different. Now, if it doesn't work out, that's fine. But today I want to use the hybrid workflow. So we're going to use the tracks area, and we're going to use the live loops. Why are we doing this? One, it's fun. But number two, this is a new workflow. This is a new approach and philosophy that that has changed in the last, let's call it, I don't know, 4 to 5 years. Ableton Live really became a very powerful DAW, and it looks like all the DAWs are starting to kind of copy and mimic each other, which is great. We need more of that. So FL Studio looks and feels more like Ableton, and Logic feels a little bit more like Ableton now, and Ableton in some ways resembles Logic. And so here we are. We're going to use the live loops feature, but the way that I'm going to use it is going to be unique insofar as I'm going to use it as a container of ideas. For decades now, we've been recording on just this side of the screen, rather that side of the screen. Okay, left to right, like reading a book, right? Like watching a movie. Well, the game has kind of changed now because we have a new way to do this. So I'm going to leave both of these screens open so we can kind of look at the workflow simultaneously. But I want to point out one thing. If you don't have Logic 10.5, this feature, it will not be available to you. Is it worth it? It depends. I think it depends on how you like to perform, how you like to play your DAW. It really does depend. I think it's great. I think it's a great addition. And so yeah, I'm just kind of here practicing it and learning it with you. So I'm going to go ahead, set myself up here. I'm also going to utilize smart tempo. So not only am I using live loops, but I'm using smart tempo, which means I'm not recording to a click track like we've done again for the past 20 years, ever since like 1999. That's when kind of every record after that, 2000, was recorded to a click track. So, all right, let's configure this properly now. We're going to go mono. Great. Let me see if I can hear this properly. 1 second. Man, I would love to be able to hear this. Hold on, hold on. No, what about if I do this? No. I'm gonna try one more thing, and if not, I'm just gonna go for it. That's how we do, guys. hfmusicacademy.com. We just kind of go for it. We figure it out as we go along. But you know what? We make money. We take care of ourselves. We take care of our own. We take care of our people. We make sure everybody gets ahead. And all right, yeah, that's pretty good there. We're at the end of the 45-day challenge over at hfmusicacademy.com. Basically, we've had our members write as much music as humanly possible, and it's going great. So congratulations to particularly the first 3 people who are in the lead, and we'll see who's going to win this magnificent race. But here we go. We're going to start recording. Tempo's off. I'm going to hit record, and if you don't know about live loops, I'm going to clarify a couple things for you right now. We're actually starting our study into live loops next Monday. We're going to have a live loops intensive training, so if you want to learn more about it, hit us up. Support at hfmusicacademy.com. But here we go. Let me record this riff, and we will go from there. Hold on. That I don't want to hear myself back because of the delay. There's a pretty significant. Yeah, okay, cool. This will work. All right. So let me create a quick cycle region so that the playhead doesn't move anywhere. We want it to stay here. Live loops in the playhead. they kind of work together. We'll talk about it later, but here we go. Okay. All right, let's hear that back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start to show you what I think is an interesting workflow. So I'm going to call this my main. Okay? You call it main theme, main riff, what have you. So then now, you'll notice that in my guitar here, make sure this is playing. Got like 50 screens up here. Here we go. All right, so there are two different humbuckers here, and if I use this one down here, it sounds a lot thinner, not as thick. And so I'm going to record the same part, but just using a different humbucker, okay? Here we go. All right, so let's get this going. So this is going to sound a lot thinner, okay? It's just going to have a different tone to it, and so this is going to help us with arranging our song. In fact, I'll probably move this one here, and then we'll go from there. Now, bear in mind what's happening, guys. I'm not playing to a click. I've got keep tempo on inside of smart setting, smart tempo, and then I'm recording, and whatever it is I play, irregardless if I play it on in time or not, it's conforming or it's adapting. That's probably the wrong choice of words there, but you're at 155. No matter what, if I play it at 160 or 135, it's going to properly create flex markers and make sure it works for your song. So here we go. Let's go for our next attempt with a different tone. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's listen back to that. Okay, so you can hear that this one is a little bit thinner than this one, right? So it sounds a lot thicker. So again, I'm going to access the text tool, and I'll call this, thin, or, it doesn't really matter as long as you understand that this is a narrow passage, and this one's going to be a little bit thicker. So here we have all of the basic guitar parts. So the way I'm thinking about this song is we're going to have an intro like this. Let's get the pointer tool. Hold on. TT to go back. Here we go. And then we'll go to this spot here. Now you'll notice if I do put on the click that even though I'm in time, it's off of the click. I think it's hitting on the upbeat rather than on the downbeat. Check it out. Okay, and so that's mostly because of how I started, when I started. So then you go in here and you start to perform your edits. Like, how am I going to fix this and make this work so that it fits in the context of my song? So let me see if I could. Okay. This is if I'm gonna make an edit like this is probably something I would do over here. So again, we're just generating ideas, but here, let's move this over to the right. So I'm gonna move this into the tracks area now. Let's move it here. You'll notice that it's dimmed, right? And let's call this okay. Now the reason it's dim, going back to the live loops training, is that everything that's currently in key focus or is highlighted is inside of the live loops. And that behavior is completely dictated up here. This is called the track divider button, okay? And this is called the divider column in between the live loops area and the tracks area. So if I click here one time, everything in the tracks area is going to be muted. This can also be another set of problems, especially for new users, which is why it's very important to learn this early on. But if you know what you're doing and you know how to maneuver this, it can be a lot of fun. So notice that I drag this over, and then now I want to edit it so it works musically, right? So let's see if we can pull that off. Right now, what's taking priority is not this left side, but this right side. So let me get out of flex mode. And here, let's mute these just to be sure. Yeah, so you can see that playback is being determined by this side of the screen. Now, of course, I wouldn't work like this normally. I would close, the screen, and I would do that kind of thing. But just for the sake of illustration, I just wanted to talk about this new hybrid workflow. So let me distribute that. All right, here we go. I'm just thinking, should it be 2, 3? Na, 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 okay, let me hear this. All right, so let's think about this. We're gonna bring in a drummer. Let me see how this works, what it sounds like. No, that's not working. I'm not. I think it should be 2, 3, 4. Let me hear this a little bit. Okay, let me play with the positioning here. Okay, let me do this. See if I could bring this over here. All right, so we're just trying to find the proper timing here. Okay. So it's starting on the upbeat. That's what's happening here, and that's why it sounds interesting. So I've put it now where it should be. Now it's just a matter of where should the drums come in. Okay, so let's check this out. Yeah, so this should start, I believe, on the downbeat. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we're looking for there. And so that would be super challenging if you're a beginner, just trying to line it up like that and being able to pull that off. So it's very important to do your best to learn how logic works. What are the units of measurement? How do we put things together? How can we work with the program in such a way where everything connects, where you know how to move with it and run with it? Because if you can get to that point, you can literally just make whatever you want, and people will actually seek you out because you're somebody that can problem solve. Like literally right now, I just got a gig for a show. So they're like, hey, can you make this kind of music? Yeah, no problem. And so there's a lot of us out there that are doing this as a way to make a living and to thrive, and to do what you love. And so yeah, I encourage you to find your path and to stay on it, because even in the midst of these interesting times, the world's still going. So you can find your opportunity, you can find your path as well. If you guys don't know who I am, Eddie Gray, award-winning composer. I'm super stoked to be here. Just glad to be doing music, guys. I love music with all my heart. I've been doing it since I was, a kid, and I'm still here, and I'm just absolutely loving it. So, let's get into it here. If this is what the old technology looked like, well, let's see what it looks like, kind of, today, like potentially what it can look like anyway. So we know that the time signature here is a little bit interesting because it kind of starts before the beat, and so that's something that I would need to kind of play with a little bit, in all fairness, because I'm not sure how I would tackle that. I guess we could move yeah, this is actually kind of an interesting point. I could move this information to the very end of the progression, if that makes sense, so that when I loop this, it feels complete. So let me show you what I mean, and then you'll hear it. Okay, so it sounded pretty good, like maybe until right about there. So I'm just going to copy this now. Okay, check it out. Okay, so now we got that to a place where it's working, right? Okay, well then let's think about this. Is this the... So this is the main one from what I remember. I could be wrong. Hold on, I don't want to show you that yet. Hold on, hold on. Let me unmute this one. Let me hear this. Or is it this one? No, it's definitely not that one. So we're definitely listening to the intro. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of how I was thinking about it. Let me get rid of this. Oh, not that one. Hold on, Command Z. All right, this one. This one. Okay, and I'm going to. Why don't we just put the whole thing for now? If something changes, then I can cut it. But now I'm going to drag this back over. Okay, and I suppose I could just move it all together. Okay, so that's just going to copy it over. Cool. All right, so then now going back, this is the thin guitar when I use the humbucker, and then this is the thicker one. Now, in order to keep track of all this stuff, you're gonna have to kind of stay on top of the details here. So let's go thin, and then we'll just call this main. All right, let's listen to this again. I might need to edit this one now because this one has been fixed. So let's check it out. Okay, so that's interesting. Look, I'm gonna double click on this, and hold on. I'm just curious if okay, because I thought I dragged in this whole thing. And it seems shorter to me. Honestly, it doesn't even matter because it's sounding good. Let me hear this. Whoa, okay, so that flipped out. All right, let's just record this one over again then, and maybe I'll mute this side now. So we got the humbuckers. Let's see, good. Okay, here we go. Click is off. Here we go. Okay, so the ending was kind of loopy, but for the most part, it felt pretty good all the way across. Why don't I just take this and copy and paste, and let's see what that sounds like. Hey, it's funny, I actually made a mistake right there. Oh, where did these guys come from? Okay, not sure, but here we go. I actually made a mistake there. And I really like that, actually. Alright, so I'm actually going to keep that, except I'm going to move it over. And I'm going to call this, let's do, main with repeat. You got to give yourself some clues, like what part was this again? Alright, so let's go back to the main and drag this over, because I really did want to create another edit. So let's see if we can pull that off. So I guess what I'll do is, yeah, it should have been that. Okay, let's take a listen. I'll listen from here. I'm going to double click in the ruler. Hold on. Let's try that. Sounded okay. It didn't sound as natural. Maybe if I put from bar 3 to 5, it'll work a little bit better. Let's check it out. So this just decided to go. Okay. So yeah, there's definitely some interesting behaviors here. I'll tell you that. You know what? Another thing. Okay, so this is cool because here, check this out. If I reduce the loop length, I don't have to deal with the rest of that. I could just be within this riff. I mean, it all kind of repeats itself anyway. So why not? Here, check this out. Yeah, so that kind of feels a little bit better. And so now I'm starting to collect ideas. That's kind of the whole point of this segment here. It's just, I've got this thin guitar. All right, and then same thing here. Rather than having to hear the entire phrase, why don't I change the loop length? And so make sure this is in key focus. And I guess that would be the cell length, not the loop length. Man, it would be really nice if I could see. Let's go. Let me see. So I'm going to change the position. So I guess that actually probably would be loop then, wouldn't it? Yeah, okay. So let's go loop. Drag this the other way. Nope. Hold on. There is definitely a way to do this. So I'm basically trying to get this. Okay, that's cool. Let's move this over here. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's that. Let's check it out. Okay, yep, that makes sense. And that was the loop length right up here. And there's a difference between the loop length and the length of the cell, which is a little bit different. So just be aware of that. There we go. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff here to look at, to learn. And so I just kind of wanted to take some time to talk about, like, this could be a container, something that, you store different thoughts. Let's have a thin guitar, let's have one distorted. We can add a clean guitar, and here we can start adding some drums using Drummer. And you gotta love these incredible graphics that Apple has provided. But here, now I'm going to play this idea as a whole. I don't want to trigger one and then the other, so I'm going to hit the scene trigger here. Okay, let's say you wanted to play with the MIDI editing of this. Well, you would just control click, and let's see, there has to be convert to MIDI. No, we're not doing that. You can't convert to MIDI from here? Hold up. There we go. Thank you very much. Convert to MIDI cell. So the verbiage is a little bit different. So then now I can play with the MIDI here. I didn't really like that fill. And so this drummer turns into MIDI. Let's see if we can play with that fill really quick. Okay, and maybe let's say you were on the fence about that. Well, you could drag this one over and write another fill here, and you could just again tell yourself, hey, this is you know, another fill. We know it's the drum part, right? Because we can't. It probably wouldn't be a great idea to have you know, different uh, parts. Like in other words, you can't have a flute here and a violin here. They're all going to be drums, and so the way you can separate them is by creating different ideas. So this one's going to be the original, the main, and then here we're going to change up the fill. So let's go to the end of this region. All right, stop that. Where's my snare? Here we go. All right, good. So then we just drag that over. Let's see what we got. If I could zoom in a little harder here, let's see. Okay. If you want to stop the cells, you see how they're pulsing right now? That means that they're ready for playback. So as soon as I hit spacebar, they're all going to play back, including the guitar. Not just the drums, but the guitar as well. So here's spacebar. Well, what if you just want them to stop, right? You don't want that behavior. Well, I'm going to hit Command Return, and that's going to stop all cells. So they're no longer activated, right? If I press spacebar, we're listening to this part right here. Okay, so let me go, actually, yeah, here. Okay, so let me just add a quick tom. Maybe that one, and we'll raise up the velocity. I'm gonna hit the keyboard modifier, Control Command, raise that up. All right, let's listen. And if you wanted to solo this performance, if you just hit that little play button there, you can. Nice, okay. Okay, so we have a basic intro. Here we go. And really the way I would play this is this one would be first. Hold on. Stop all cell playback. Okay, we would hit this one first. Okay, so this is interesting. Here, check this out. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is how things can get confusing. I press spacebar, but because of this new behavior with the divider column, with the track activator button, right? This track number 2 is active in the tracks area, and this loop here in the live loops region, or in the live loops grid rather, is activated too. So when I press spacebar, this one is going to play and this is going to play. Check it out. Now it's hard to tell simply because these are still colored, and so you really have to be able to look out for this stuff, guys. I'm warning you in advance. One of the things that is good practice is, you know, you can't mute this because it mutes the entire track. It mutes the live loops and it mutes the tracks themselves. So is to hide, or rather select these and hit Control M. And so then now you know for sure, okay, so what's playing back is, you know, is this. Do you want to work like this with this hybrid workflow? It's up to you entirely. There is no right or wrong at this juncture in the game. But when you're first learning, it's not a bad idea to stay within one realm, okay, just so you don't get completely lost. So what are the indicators? How can I know for sure what's playing back? Well, these buttons here in the column, they're the ones that dictate the behavior. So this one up here is like a global setting, and this one down here, well, this one and this one are responsible for the tracks themselves. So hopefully that helps. Yep, thank you very much. Yep, get it in. 25 done. Let's go, Angelina. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Okay. Yeah, I just found out one of the members from HF Music Academy. Just turned in 25. Wow, that is amazing. We love to see our people grow. We love to see them evolve. We're so committed to their growth. This is why we do this. Believe me, guys. Uh, I could be home sleeping right now, and I mean that on several levels. Go look at my Instagram if you know what I mean. But um, yeah, I just want to introduce a little bit more variety here. There's a new specimen growing. There's a new kind of musician that's spawning right now, and they're called the modern creative. And if you don't know about them, believe me, you will very soon. This is a new bunch. This is a new kind of musician that is thinking about music differently, that has to perform on a whole new level. Guys, we're talking about execution. We're talking about making the most out of your life by design, because you choose, not because external circumstances tell you, not because anybody's negative energy or bad mood or projections or filters, but because you are the one that has the say in your life. You're the one that determines, because of your voice, because of your words, because of your community. And so we are so lit and so happy to be here because we get to do what we love. We're actually having a conversation where, as many people, they don't get to partake in what they love. And so we're offering a new path. It's called Black Belt. If you're interested in it, check out hfmusicacademy.com. If you have any questions, check out support at hfmusicacademy.com. But yeah, guys, get it, stay up. And so I think you get my point here. The intention was not to write a song, but I just kind of wanted to show you, hey, let this be a kind of container. You know, I kind of want to say the word depository, but that's not it. Compository, I don't know, one of those. But yeah, this could be an interesting concept, especially if utilized well. Once you get your reps in and you can do this with efficiency. Obviously, there's a lot here to do, and look, this is brand new. It's been out for what, a month, and so there's really a lot to do here. So I'm going to stop here with that, and we're going to keep moving. Hopefully, everybody's doing well. Yeah, been waking up super early, guys. Been waking up really early. It's been quite the ride. I don't even want to wake up early. It's just what ends up happening is I'm so amped up because I want to get up and I want to work and I want to, talk to my clients and I just want to serve. And so I'm up early just because I want it. And yeah, I'm just feeling good. I'm just feeling real grateful. We're gonna look at another song. Maybe if we have time today, we'll look at the book. I know that last time we were all together, we were looking at a book. So let's see what happens there. But here, let me open up the sesh, and we will go from there. All right, what's going on here? Where's my session? Okay. Alright, so let me see if I can get this. Yeah, I hope you guys like the new axe. Check that out. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. I'll tell you, it has made a world of a difference. Just plugging this thing in and playing it absolutely blew my mind. Just how incredible. Like when you have the proper tools. I've got another electric, and it sounds pretty good, but this thing blows everything out of the water. Super stoked. Thank you again, Judith. All right, so here I want to talk to you guys. Let's look at the session real quick, and then we'll get into our book, "Steal Like an Artist," by Austin Kleon. I think that's his name. What's my intention here? Why are we doing this? Why spend the time to do this? Okay, so I started noticing after working with thousands of people all over the world, consulting. I do some work for Apple as well, and LearnQuest, the training provider. And somewhere down the road, I started noticing that people were very scared, and they had a lot of very limiting beliefs about what they could or could not do inside of the space of music. And so I, I could not avoid it. You know, it's like I just wanted to work on Logic. I just wanted to work on mixing, and nobody was talking about the peak performance aspect. Nobody was really addressing the fact that a lot of people believe that they can't do this. And what the number is, I don't know. I don't have the analytics, but let me tell you, it's a lot. And so one of my missions, one of the main purposes for me, getting up, staying up late, being consistent, being, a man of my word, is I believe that there is another path. I believe that there's another way, and that it's accessible to everyone so long as they put in the work and so long as they're willing to pay the price of admission, right? You can't get there for free. Right? It's not just, hey, get a crack of the program and we're going to make it. It doesn't really work like that. You have to be all in. You have to be fully committed. And when you are, the universe, your community, coworkers, other peers, other fellow musicians, they start to take notice, guys, and they start to treat you differently because you are now fully committed. So this right here, what you're looking at, is a song that I wrote. Well, it's far from it now because this is going to go into my lesson plan. But originally, for Born This Way, the Emmy Award-winning show, I was the head composer on that for 3 seasons. And what I'm doing now, because I have so many different briefs and collaborations and music submissions, I'm at a point where I'm taking information from the past. And when I read George Martin's book, he started giving an account of Johann Sebastian Bach and how basically he was just a common layman. He was just a composer, and he wasn't revered in his time. He was just doing a job. And so this struck me as rather important because in a lot of ways, the modern creative, the people who are doing this now, are kind of the same. This isn't to hold you back whatsoever. My aim is to take you as far as you can, and when it's your time to be the ruler and the king and queen of your dominion, then fantastic. But somebody's got to take a stand and somebody's got to care at some point. It can't just be just all dollars and cents all the time, right? That doesn't make sense, right? The constant sale, this is the only thing, this is the only objective. That's just not going to work. And so when I started reading the book, I thought, what a great piece of information that you can borrow and you can steal from yourself. So let's go through this song here. I'm going to show you how I changed things up in order to create another song from a song. I'm still going to add guitars, but I just don't want to do that now because, as you can see with the other session, it's a whole thing. I feel like I have to be an octopus to run this thing. Hopefully pretty soon I'll have somebody running the board for me. That would be great, actually. But all right, so the way we started was with this guitar. This guitar was really kind of the bread and butter. It dictated everything about the song, all right? So because it was the main part of the song, I took it out because that could be detrimental. How can I repurpose music if it sounds, too similar? That doesn't count, right? And by the way, this is no different than using loops. You're just using your own loops. So for anybody that may have some, second thoughts or criticisms, you're literally just taking your own music. This is what Johann Sebastian Bach did, and if one of the greatest composers of all time can do it, then it's cool if we do it too. I give you permission, okay? And so Johann Sebastian Bach was so busy, and he would have so many different gigs lined up, and he had like 12 kids or something, and so he had to pay the bills. And so when he would have deadlines from the aristocrat, he essentially had to figure out ways to be faster. And because they didn't have Max and they didn't have Snap Mode and Quantize back then, or notation software, he had to come up with a a squirrely way of making music quickly. And so he just stole from himself. He'd go from to old manuscripts where he would write down ideas or compositions, and he would just borrow from himself. So this song was already mixed. Why not borrow from myself? Okay. So what I did was I brought in that part. It's all right here across the keyboard. But rather than playing it with the traditional, sample, like, I guess, here, I don't want to ruin this, but hold on. Oh, this thing is so, I've changed it so much at this point. Let's see if I could, hold on. Hold on. There it is. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So I dragged in the idea, went into the slice mode. I played with the velocity slide. I'm sorry, the slicer division slider here, and I started playing with all the various filters, and I came up with this great part. Okay. Now, what really brought it together was the fact that I used the transposer MIDI effects. I used it in the key of C natural minor. And then on top of that, I used a randomizer to make sure that all the notes played in a random fashion, right? Because all of us have natural inclinations when it comes to our playing styles. If you play a horn or if you play a violin or a guitar, we kind of have a sense of where we're going to go, or at least what we can do. And so these tools, these hacks, they allow for more. They allow for your being to stretch. They allow for your mind to stretch. And that's what I'm after. I'm after expanded creativity. And so here, check this out. Now, I just want to be clear. What's allowing it to play like this is not the MIDI that I played. I just, sliced this up in, really fine increments. Looks like 16th notes. What's allowing it to randomize is this beautiful tool right here. And I just set this up so it randomizes at 81, which is not all the time, but sometimes kind of. And so here's without it. Take a listen. So I could use a stutter effect like that for a quick turnaround, but it's really not going to work in the long haul. So here we go. Let's add this great effect. Okay, so here's the trick with the sound, and I could be wrong about this because I did this last week, but from what I remember, this 3 millisecond glide is what made the sound. Here, let me remove it. Check it out. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I like this. I like the reverb that I'm using. It's just stock Logic. But when I raise this up, just check out the nuances, guys. So pretty, so interesting. So listen to the texture. And so I thought, wow, that's an interesting little character in my song. I really enjoyed it, right? And so I wonder, can I lift this to 4? Now it has a, is there a fine tune setting? No, it just goes from 3 to 7. Okay, that's fine. So that's how I got that sound, okay? Now let me show you the next one. And you know what? I really should have played you this song. Let me see if I have it laying around real quick. I probably, here, let's see. No, I don't. Well, anyway, it sounded like this. Here is the main riff. Okay? Alright. So that being said, I took that riff, and if any of you have Fab Filter Saturn, doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2, they have some wonderful sequences in here that can absolutely trip out a loop that's already existing. And again, because we are borrowing, stealing, whatever you want to call it, it can really take a left turn, right? It could sound completely different. So here it is again without. Now the only thing I did here sounds pretty weak, is that I raised this up an octave. Other than that, here let's bring it down just to show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so that's the same part, right? Let me Command Z that. Okay, so then after that, I added this wonderful tool, and I'm just gonna start building the chain for you guys. Let me hit Command U to hit a cycle region. Here we go. Okay, so that sounds interesting, but obviously it's still quiet. So then I added a compressor. All right, here's the bad boy right here. Notice I have a fast release so that this pumps back and forth and I get a lot of that intensity, a lot of that character. I could have driven this a little bit harder, and bear in mind too, I could have also increased the gain pre-fader, right? I could have gone up here and that could have done a lot as well. So, but that's just what happened. There's no rhyme or reason sometimes. You're just kind of in a groove and you don't want to get out of it. A little low cut, dampen some of the more popular frequency ranges. This you don't really need because you pretty much know. But this is the one that really made it happen. My assistant was here at the studio, and he asked me, "Hey, what do you think about this plugin?" And I was like, "Well, come have a seat, and we'll talk about it." And I didn't know I was going to use it, but if it wasn't for that conversation, I put it on here, and it absolutely sounded insane. So let me just show it to you first, and then I'll show you without it, and then I'll show you what I did. Okay, so what's happening here is that this is Gatey Weighty by Boz Digital Labs. What's really, I believe it's on sale right now. I think you can get it for 10-20 bucks. If you're a member of hfmusicacademy.com, you get 50% off on top of the sale. So kudos to you. But so what's happening here is we're not necessarily hitting anything below 1.5 kilohertz. Okay. If you have this mode set up, it's just what a normal gate is. Okay. But what we're doing here is we're kind of avoiding or not really paying attention to the low stuff, and we're just allowing the high stuff to poke its head through. So here, listen to it before. Okay, and so then now with that in mind, listen to, and you can also visually see when this lights up that the high information is popping out. Look. And so now all of a sudden it becomes a kind of percussive element that's really cool, right? And so I'm going to hit that a little bit harder with the compressor. All right, so let's see what we got. Good. Okay, here we go. All right, and then kind of the final piece here was okay, so that was that same line I played you before, this one right here. Okay, but instead of running it the way you usually would, I just decided I'm gonna recycle it. And it's funny, I did this twice. I just noticed, right? So I have material from that guitar here. I have material here. And then I have the same guitar right here in this section. I'm utilizing Egoist. I just put together a phenomenal video on this, and look out for it in the next day or 2 or 3. I go over in depth how to use this program. I'm absolutely in love with it now that I know what it does and how to use it. And so if you have it and you've never taken the time, if you just spend an hour, maybe 2, this thing will revolutionize your workflow. Let me show you what I mean. Now you got to remember that really interesting guitar percussion line came from that same part. Now what happened was we sliced everything up, but there's more power here. I can play with the pitch of every single slice. I can play with the playback direction, um, the attack, the decay, the volume. It's very deep. And then on top of that, we also have an effects unit that I'm not using right now because I don't need it. But guys, listen to this. Listen to this creativity just popping out of the seams. Check it out. All right, cool. So yeah, this is kind of the beginning of a tension track. We do this kind of music for music licensing. There's a whole path out there. People are getting paid on the daily. Literally just made a couple $100 right before this call. Um, Not kidding. And so I got Marius here. How do you use Fat Filter Saturn? Well, in this example, I just put a preset. I love the sequences that are stock to it. Where was that? Sorry, this track is so kind of in experimental mode right now. But yeah, this really fantastic sequences. I use them a lot. I use this for the Kim Kardashian documentary that I composed. I used it quite a bit. But I mostly use it just for color. I don't really use it um, in any other way. If I just want something to sound a little bit more colorful, um, it's just a really easy to use tool. For me, I'd rather pick efficiency and quality over a wide learning curve. So it's just an easy tool, and if you need more detail, let me know and I'll definitely give you a little bit more. But the idea is that you're increasing the harmonic content from the various aspects of the signal. But yeah, let me put that back because I definitely liking the sound. um, all right, so that's pretty much it here, unless you guys have any questions. But I'm definitely digging this. It needs probably a guitar line, maybe a little bit more percussion, but generally speaking, it's pretty much there. And so, yeah, I just wanted to give you kind of a real world example of what that looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and start setting up our book club here. If you guys are new, we have a book club. We're currently reading. No joke. I think it's good to keep your mind alive and stay active and stay educated. They say information changes situations. So if you get the right information, guys, you can change your life. I know for me, it definitely started with reading a lot. You don't have to read, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying you need to have the right conversations. If you want to listen to podcasts, that's your thing. That's cool with me. That's fine. It doesn't have to look a certain way. I'm just saying, be informed, be in the now. So wish I could hear you guys. Wish DBP could go ahead and take this for me. That would be nice. Yup, DBP, you like Egoist better than M Rhythmizer. It's a beast. It's a beast, but you got to take about 2 hours, my friend. Maybe an hour. You're a pretty smart dude. But yeah, it's definitely very interesting. All right, so here we go. This is where we ended off last time. So genetics. In fact, I can see that you guys don't have a really good view on this. Yeah, sorry guys, I can't change the view level, the zoom level rather. So I'll just read it out and support this author. Really, really great book. I love this. I come back to it every once in a while. All right, so here we go. Genetics. Here's your dad, here's your mom, and here's you, okay? A good example is genetics. You have a mother and you have a father. You possess features from both of them, but the sum of you is bigger than their parts. You're a remix of your mom and dad and all of your ancestors. Just as you have a familial genealogy, you also have a genealogy of ideas. Hang on, let me raise up my desk here. All right, cool. You don't get to pick your family, but you can pick your teachers and you can pick your friends and you can pick the music you listen to and you can pick the books you read and you can pick the movies you see. You are in fact a mashup of what you choose to let into your life. You are the sum of your influences. The German writer Goethe said, "We are shaped and fashioned by what we love." We are shaped and fashioned by what we love. Here's a quote by Jay-Z. "We were kids without fathers, so we found our fathers on wax and on the streets and in history. We got to pick and choose the ancestors who would inspire the world we were going to make for ourselves." That is beautiful, man. That is deep. What a poet, Jay-Z. Amazing. All right, let's keep going here. Garbage in, garbage out. The artist is a collector, not a hoarder, mind you. There's a difference. Hoarders collect indiscriminately. Artists collect selectively. They only collect things that they really love. There's an economic theory out there that if you take the incomes of your 5 closest friends and average them, the resulting number will be pretty close to your own income. I think the same thing is true for our idea incomes. You're only going to be as good as the stuff you surround yourself with. My mom used to say to me, "Garbage in, garbage out." It used to drive me nuts, but now I know what she meant. Your job is to collect good ideas. The more good ideas you collect, the more you can choose from to be influenced by. All right, a quote by Jim Jarmusch. Forgive me if I'm butchering that last name. "Steal from anywhere that resonates with inspiration or fuels your imagination. Devour old films, new films, music, books, paintings, photographs, poems, dreams, random conversations, architecture, bridges, street signs, trees, clouds, bodies of water, light and shadows. Select only things to steal that speak directly to your soul. If you do this, your work and theft will be authentic." And here we'll close out here for this one. "Climb your own family tree." Marcel Duchamp said, "I don't believe in art. I believe in artists." This is actually a pretty good method for studying if you try to devour the history of your discipline all at once. You'll choke. Instead, chew on one thinker, one writer, one artist, one activist, one role model you really love. Study everything there is to know about that thinker. Then find 3 people that thinker loved and find out everything about them. Repeat this as many times as you can. Climb up the tree as far as you can go. Once you build your tree, it's time to start your own branch. Wow. Really nice, guys. Really nice. In fact, let me just do one more here because I want to close a little stronger. All right, so seeing yourself as a part of a creative lineage will help you feel less alone as you start making your own stuff. I hang pictures of my favorite artists in my studio. Something I gotta do here. I'm definitely gonna do it in my next studio. They're likely friendly ghosts. I can almost feel them pushing me forward as I'm hunched over my desk. The great thing about dead or remote masters is that they can't refuse you as an apprentice. You can learn whatever you want from them. They left their lesson plans in their work. So there it is, guys. We're going to stop there. Let's keep it going here. I got one more music example. Really great book, Steal Like an Artist. Austin Kleon, I believe that's his name. A lot of good points there, right? You don't have to be original per se, right? Just be yourself and eventually your music will surface. You don't have to go and find it on top of some mountain, right? You just got to see what resonates with you. Maybe there's a couple musicians you really like or a couple books you really like. Yeah, we got to find kind of what works for you. And then after you do that, what's going to happen is that's going to lead you to the next place, right? And so then you get the information you need from there, right? At HF Music Academy, we're helping so many people understand things like compression. And today we worked on the MIDI transform window, which was pretty awesome. And you have to get the right information to kind of get to the next place. That's what I'm trying to say. So don't get intimidated. Don't get scared. You can make music. It doesn't have to be that complicated. And here's a really good example that I've been working on the last couple sessions. I dragged in a couple of loops, and now I'm starting to make this my own. I mean, look how simple this melodic line is, okay? There's nothing complicated about this. Listen. All right. Now, if you include that with some hacks, there's a whole video you can watch it. Check this out. All right. So again, that trick is not that complicated. If you're interested, watch. I think it was the last video or maybe the one before that. Sorry, guys. I've been kind of really working really on top of things. But essentially, I separate every single MIDI note. Let me show you this. And I separate each one in such a way so that I can reverse each note. And so that's a phenomenal creative tool. You don't have to write the world's most amazing melody as long as you know how to swing it and how to pull that off, right? And so we've added some what I call decorating the Christmas tree, and so that's little things like here, listen to this, and even this. Let it play back. The MIDI note was before the position, but here, check this out. That is not playing. Hold on, let me check something. Okay, one more thing. Yeah, that should be playing. What's up? Not sure. Okay, well, I'm not gonna stop because of that right now, but that should definitely be working. Oh, maybe oh, you know what? I think the preset's not selected. Let's see. Let's see. Oh wait, I think it said something about an update. We haven't been able to find the plugin. Okay, roger that. I see okay, so I had a session about a couple days ago, and I deleted my VSTs, and this works out of VSTs inside of an AU. Anyway, I got it later. Don't worry about it. Let me go ahead and just hide that. All right, so here's our basic track, and I've started adding some stuff. The last session we left off on adding this interesting synthesizer from Alchemy, and I was kind of posing this idea that we could, as we play whatever the melody is, and again, this one was an easy one. There's nothing complicated about this, but that we change the articulations. I don't know if I actually ended up doing it, but here, let's take a listen to this. I believe it's soloed. Yes, it is. Here we go. Okay, so that sounds pretty good. So what I'm suggesting is you could do it by means of a MIDI keyboard like in post, or you can just draw it in. So we're just gonna draw it in right now. Let me close my screen here. Let's get things to sharpen up a little bit here. All right, and so let's look at when do these articulation changes begin. Well, if I just let me turn off MIDI out so that when I'm clicking a note, it doesn't sound off and it's interrupting my speech here. But I'm going to click and drag this all the way down, and what we're looking for right now is these to change from pad to pad, XY pad. So let me go ahead and keep going down. It hasn't happened yet. We're currently on C1, so I'm pretty sure this is gonna happen either C0 or C negative 1. Not yet. All right, so I guess down to C negative 2. No changes yet. Well, maybe that's because, hold on. Nope. All right, so let's see. No changes. So, what's going on here? Why can't I? Hold on. Hold on. I've done this before. So let's go down here. Okay. So, what is this though? This is see, you know what? I can't even see it on my MIDI keyboard. I'm surprised. So just so you know my setup. I wish I could show you, but I have a keyboard and then I have like a dedicated small keyboard just for articulation switching, just for this kind of stuff. So let me play with this and see if we could find an interesting pattern. So I'm just gonna record this really quick. Hold on. Let's see, metronome. Oh, what happened? Oh, okay. So you see, this is interesting because I recorded over my MIDI performance. So we need to go into our overlapping MIDI recordings, and I don't want a track alternative. I just want to merge, right? Because I'm hitting articulations, and so I want them to merge with my performance. And so let's get back to it here. All right, so where was that? It was C0. What was going on? Okay, either way, so now I got the information. That didn't work, but now I know what I'm looking for, and so it would just be nice if we could hear like you know, the first progression here on ensemble. Hold on, here. And then have it just switch over for like one of the next parts. And so we're gonna look for that. And in order to pull this off, and there's like 5,000 ways to do this, by the way, but I'm gonna just do this, you know, with the first couple notes. So let me see if this works. Okay, and then we'll start demoing articulation switches here. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's give it a go. Okay. All right, you be the judge in the context of the track. Ready? Here we go. Nah, definitely did not like that. So we'll keep that one out. Let's keep listening though. Let's keep listening. All right. And obviously this as a whole needs to be quieter. So let's bring this down. Good. All right. So maybe on that one. Here, let's just experiment. So maybe that one. Here, let's listen to this. Okay, yep, I kind of like that. This should transition as well, I think. And then, of course, we should repeat that. But let's fix this, and then I'll repeat the whole phrase. I wonder... I don't know. Let me just go up and we'll figure it out. That wasn't bad. Let me listen to that. Yeah, maybe. Let me increase the velocity of the main one. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's cool. And so then now we get dynamics. Obviously, look, spend your time perfecting this. This isn't something that, you know, we're not doing an 8-hour session here. But the whole point is that you take your time and you care for your music, right? The worst thing I think that befalls people that I see personally is they're trying to get after it. They're trying to make a name for themselves. They got momentum. They're doing everything right, and then they start to lose the love of the game. They start to lose their affection for it. You know, like when you were a kid and maybe you first started playing guitar, or you got your first laptop and you really started, you know, getting your work in, and you started to take it serious. Like you started to identify as a musical creative. Like you actually felt, this is my life purpose. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing this, right? And so if you ever got to that place, don't let that go. Be proud of what you do. Don't waste your time while you're here. Please, I see too many people that got one foot in, one foot out. And I will not rest and I will not stop. I don't care how early I have to get up. I don't care how late I have to stay up. I will make use of my human life. I promise you guys. If you guys know who I am, Eddie Gray, I've already made it to the top of the mountain. I already know what it looks like. And let me tell you, it's a nice view. But I'm here today because I care about you. I care about other people. I care about other creatives. And we are here together. Our commonality is music. We all come from different places. I understand that. But it's very important that you remember the source, why you started. And if you haven't gotten anything from this journey yet, guys, whether it's money, whether it's touring, if you haven't gotten anything from the investments you've made, it's time that you get yours. I need you to get something out of it. A connection, a residual check, a contract. Get something. Come on now. It's your time. There are thousands of jobs out there, tens of thousands of jobs. In fact, DBP from hfmusicacademy.com, he just got a GoPro ad. You can check that out on my Insta, Eddie Gray Music. A lot of people are doing very well, signing publishing deals. It's going to start looking real nice for them. Things are going to really start looking up. So care about what you do. Care about what you do. Care about what you do. All right. So, yeah. Look, it doesn't have to be complicated. I got a super simple piano line. We got our drums right here. Here, let's listen to just the drums. All right, and if you remember, I basically just dragged in a loop and I just started to customize it. So I took their working pattern, I added my own kick, I added some added kicks. You can see these guys right here, right? Just to give it a little bit more flair. Listen to it in context. It sounds pretty cool. Okay, and then we added this brass loop, again another loop. Okay, and so then what I did was I copied that chord progression but on a piano. So again, now starting to customize it, making it my own. Check it out. That very well could have been played up an octave and that would have sounded nice as well. Let's check it out. I think we talked about creating a nice transition chord in between that. So that's probably a good time to do that. Here, let's just do something simple. Let's see. Just gonna create it. So there's like what 5-10 ways to input MIDI data, right? You can play it yourself. You can have a sequencer. I mean, all sorts of stuff. Let's just see if I can. Okay, why don't we hear it? This is good. Okay. Oh, MIDI out. We turned it off earlier. Remember that? All right. So. So let's see what this sounds like. So the issue right now is I'm using this transposer and I need this seventh. Song is in the key of C minor. So we're gonna see if this is gonna help our cause. Yeah. If you don't know about this stuff, hfmusicacademy.com. Check us out. But yeah, this is a great little plugin here. And so now I'm going to create a chord. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, that could work. I don't know if I'll use it for both of the phrases, in which case I'm going to utilize a track alternative, because I don't know, maybe I want to go back to the original, maybe I don't. We shall see. So boom, we're here. I'm going to delete that, bring this one over. All right, Money, let's listen to it. Okay, let's bring it back. I don't know the arrangement yet. The way we started writing this song was just kind of in a hip hop fashion. You know, you create an 8-bar loop or what have you, and you're just writing the hook, if you will. We're just writing the main part. And so now we're in a position where we have to decide what's going to happen after this. We've got a basic intro. It sounds cool. It's a hook, right? It gets people's attention. It sounds interesting. And then we have the meat and potatoes. We have these chords now harmonically to support the song. These can be played in quarter notes, right? We don't have to stay in this whole note idea. We can play these out like, let's see. Right? Pretty simple stuff. So there's a lot of fodder now. Now we have a lot of material to play with. It's just a matter of what we want to do. So this feels pretty good. The drums feel good. We need an 808. Another thing we could do too to really customize this is take this brass part, which I really like, and I'm using an S1 imager on it, which really separates it. It's really nice. Check that out. And I tried kind of dissecting the notes. So this is something else where you're like, okay, I don't want to use that loop. I'm going to try and find something similar that supports my song. But the idea, just like, you know, your mom and your dad, and then now you're the, you know, you're the sum of the parts, and you're greater. In the same way, you can take these ideas, right, and make something better than what was originally there. This song's not over, right? This is just kind of a basic idea that's being worked out. But at least you get a sense of what I'm talking about here. Take a listen. Not that. Alright, so yeah, the only thing left to do is to add that 808. Maybe we've done enough of this, especially when I add that VST that I let go of earlier. What do we got here? Oh, okay, yeah, this could be cool. Yep, yep. Yeah, let me just add that right now, actually. I kind of like that. We'll start the song. Just go. Okay, so I don't know if I need it to be that long, so we'll just use capture recording there. Here we go. What else we got? I like this a lot. Here's one of the drawbacks of using play. It pales in comparison to the upsides. So the upsides is you get like the most incredible, you know, string libraries and brass. But when you use other patches, they don't conform to the project tempo. So like even if you like this, it's not necessarily going to play back. And so it's a weird thing where you have to do you know, this whole extensive workflow. Let me show you what I mean, and then we'll cut it. So I'm gonna record. Let me get away from the playhead. Let me go like to the right side of the screen, or I could actually. Here's a little hack for you. Let me see. We go to folder. We go to pack a folder. And what this is going to do is it's going to give me like an isolated screen so I don't have to look at all this. And there's various reasons for it. We can talk about it, but there it is right here. Okay. Oh, I see what's going on. Yeah, that's nice. The last time I was doing this, there was some new behavior that I hadn't seen before, but I get it now. Okay, so we're going to delete that. And so the only reason I did this was just to have some screen real estate, just so my eyes weren't boggled. Let's say you've worked a 12-hour day, 14-hour day, 16-hour day like I have at this point. We don't want any more information, right? We're good. We just want to see what we want to see. We want to hear what we want to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and record this. Okay, good. And so I'm going to quantize it. Yep, looks like it's right where it needs to be. And then we'll line this up all the way to the end of the playhead. This one rather. Good. Okay, good. And so then now, let's go back to this screen. We're going to folder right here. Unpack. We could just do it to the, are there any plugins here? No, to the existing track. Cool. All right, and so then we bounce this to audio. We could do it, you know what, just to keep it safe, I'm going to bounce it outside of the session. Yeah, let me just bounce this out, and then I'm going to bring it back in with Smart Tempo. So if you're, you know, somewhat in the game, you kind of know what I'm doing here. Let's put just test. I'm going to send this to the desktop so I can easily access it. Okay, so there are some contingencies. Inside of Smart Tempo, I'm going to say, hey, when I import a file, can you do something, right? Can you do your job? So I'm going to tell Logic that I want you to keep the tempo. I want you to keep 147. Regardless of what's going on outside, I want that tempo to keep doing its thing. So I'm going to go ahead, locate this file. It's over here somewhere. One sec. All right. And then I should be able to drag it in. And we should, I don't know if it analyzed it. It looks good, but let's take a listen. Here we go. No, not really. Okay, so sometimes if that happens, what you can do, and we'll see if we can salvage it. If not, we will call it. We'll go to edit inside of Smart Tempo. You can see that the tempos are not lining up. So one idea is you double click and you go to 147. Okay, let's see if that helped. It may have, it may not. What happened? Hold on. All right, let's see, 147. Okay, let's see. It doesn't look like it. Let me see if I can hit Command Z enough times. Okay, good. So that's. Okay, good. So that worked out kind of nice. Let's go here. I don't know if I'm going to need the rest of that. Maybe I will. All right, and let's listen to this. Yeah, and I actually really like that, how that plays against the rest of the track. Here, take a listen. Yeah, I'd probably make it a little bit wider as a whole, but this is knocking. It feels good. And this is it. This is like a, you know, it's a test. You're just experimenting. The idea is you come in a good mood. You come in optimistic. You come in looking for, you know, for something great. Why else would you do this? Unless you actually believe you could do something of value, right? And even if you don't believe you can, your actions will prove to your brain, to your subconscious brain, hey, you can do this. I have faith. I'm stepping forward. I have faith. I can get it done. I can get it done. And so then now we got a working idea that feels pretty good, and we're going to develop this all the way, top to bottom, right? I showed you the idea generation phase. Here's kind of like the meat and potatoes phase, and then at some point we'll get into the post. We'll arrange everything, and we will be good to go. So let me just play this out one last time, and then we'll call it. Here we go. Okay, very cool. I didn't notice that that was playing back, but here you go. One. All just a big experiment. We're just trying things out. We're seeing what works, what doesn't work. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed our time together. I appreciate you guys very much. I really do. I really do. My name's Eddie Gray, and this has been just an absolute honor to be here, to be sharing this capacity. I don't take it lightly. I'm aware of the times. I'm aware that we could have been born in another time, in another country, in another dimension perhaps, but the fact that we're here and we're all together and we're all sharing during this amazing time, right, and during this challenging time. And so my whole thing is, hey, there's an answer. There's possibility exists. Whether you know it or not, it's happening right now. People getting paid for their music. And why the emphasis on getting paid for the music? Because you're worth it. And because all this gear costs money, and Omnisphere and Silent and iPad Pros and Gibson Les Pauls and all that stuff, it costs, all right? And why not have the time of your life? Why not have the most fun that you can possibly have? Why not extract as much as you can, not just from life, not just from what's out there, but from in here. Bring it out of you. Why not now? If not now, when are we going to do this, guys? 5 years from now? Are we going to when are we actually going to start realizing our dreams? When are you going to finish that EP? That's the message. When are you going to finish the music that you promised yourself that you were going to finish? It's your turn. It is your turn. All right? All right. Thank you guys very much. If you're interested in what we do, hfmusicacademy.com. It's time to get yours. I will see you later. Keep learning, keep growing, keep evolving, and keep your frequency high. See you guys later. Cheers.